It's now time for Energy Insights, where you get an inside view and local perspectives of all the oil and gas progress going on in the Mid-Ohio Valley. This program is being brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association and can be heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. on local radio WMOA AM 1490 and ESPN radio WJAW FM 100.9 and AM 630. It's now time for the show. Here's Johnny Wharf, your local host.
Another edition of Energy Insights, an opportunity to take a deeper dive into the oil and gas industry. And joining us again this week is Jerry James with Artex Oil Company. Last week we had that fascinating comment about if Ohio and West Virginia and Pennsylvania were a country, that they would be the third leader in the world of the oil and gas industry. And that just is interesting to me. I'm sure it is to the listeners, but maybe we can even break it down further as to what it means to the individuals.
Yeah, we'd be the third largest natural gas producer in the world. We've developed a tremendous supply of natural gas. And Ohio, actually, in the last few years, has been the fastest growing state in the nation on natural gas production. But what does it really mean for consumers, both on totally across Ohio and into individual consumers? It's fascinating. We're in the middle of a study right now. It's not quite ready to be published, but I can give you some preliminaries on it. In that it was really 10 years ago that natural gas production in this country started to take off with horizontal drilling. And it's just amazing how much we've increased natural gas. We've increased the supply almost 30-40%. Well, as you know, as supply goes up, prices go down. So we're looking, compared to where we were in 2008, when prices peaked over at the city gate where utilities buy their gas, they were well over $10, $11 an MCF. So we're looking at where they are today because they've decreased 50, 60, 70% some months. And what's interesting is if you look during that 10 years and you look at the savings for Ohio, Ohio's a very large industrial state. So if you look at what businesses saved, individuals saved, and everybody, that total number is $50 billion cumulative over that 10 period.
Oh my gosh, that's a big number. I mean, if we could do a lot with $50 billion, couldn't we?
We could do a lot. You know, I'm a huge baseball fan, and I'm a big listener to the baseball programs on your radio station. And so I like to tell people, because $50 billion is kind of hard to wrap your mind around. You know, if you're an Indians fan, we could buy the Cleveland Indians. If you're a Reds fan, we could buy the Reds. If you're a Pirates fan, we could buy the Pirates. As a matter of fact, that's $50 billion is enough money to buy all 30 teams in professional baseball, including the New York Yankees.
Oh,
that's how much Ohioans could have done with $50 billion in savings.
Oh, my gosh. Or the Tesla Motor Company, if we really want to get crazy.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit, as we break it down, you break it down to the state. And then we break it down to how individuals, and maybe we feel it, maybe we don't. How do people in this area benefit, individually?
Well, we've kind of starting to look at that in the study too, and we're not quite done with our numbers, but it kind of looks like this. The average home uses all close to 100 MCF of natural gas per year. That's 1,000 standard cubic feet. If you look at the savings average over that time period is about $5-6 per MCF. So $5 or $6 per MCF times 100 MCF, that's $500 or $600 a year. For the average homeowner in Ohio, you look at it on a 10-year period, that's $5,000, maybe $6,000 over that time period that the average homeowner has saved on their natural gas bill from its increased natural gas production.
And so, and specific to the Shale Crescent area, specific just to Ohio, because you said that Ohio was, the fastest growing right now.
Right.
So.
Yeah, the Ohio is the fastest growing and everything like that. So when you look at the whole state, it's $50 billion in savings. But the adjoining states of West Virginia and Pennsylvania will probably experience that too, because we are just a huge supply of natural gas in these three states combined.
Talk a little bit about, so you talked about your study, and I feel like I'm getting a scoop here, so I thank you for that. But then there's a similar study going on, the Consumer Energy Alliance?
The Consumer Energy Alliance, and they've got a preliminary study, and when they roll out their numbers, we've seen numbers, they looked at a slightly different time period, because as time goes on, the savings are getting bigger.
Right.
But their number is very close to the same number we're looking at. And they just had looked at a time period earlier into time where we had brought it up and estimated it through the year.
Jerry James, thank you again for joining us here, Energy Insights, on a Saturday morning here on the radio station. Until next week, have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Energy Insights, brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. Tune in every Saturday at 9 a.m. on WMOA and ESPN Radio WJAW as Johnny Wolf brings you your local and inside perspectives of the oil and gas progress going on in the Mid-Ohio Valley.